You ever look around at rising grocery prices, empty shelves, global chaos, and think, how do I keep my family fed when the system breaks? You're not alone. Truth is, food security isn't just a buzzword, it's survival. And the answer might just be hiding in plain sight. Today, we're breaking down how foraging and hunting those age-old, dirt-under-the-fingernails practices can put food on your table when the supply chain can't. No gimmicks, no gear hauls, just wild food, real skills, and a return to the basics. What is foraging and hunting really? Let's start simple. Foraging means gathering wild, edible plants like mushrooms, berries, nuts, herbs. Hunting is about tracking and harvesting wild game deer, rabbits, waterfowl, whatever's legal and local. Together they form a survival duo that is as old as humanity and still incredibly relevant today. Why? Because they don't rely on trucks, imports, or factory farms. They're resilient, flexible, and hyper-local. When the pandemic hit and shelves went bare, more people started rediscovering these skills. And for some indigenous communities, these practices never stop. They're part of daily life, culture, and connection to the land. This isn't just about food, it's about food sovereignty, taking back control of what you eat and how you get it. Why it matters in today's world. Here's the deal. Modern food systems are fragile. Between inflation, climate change, and political instability, our access to food is more uncertain than we like to admit. But when you know how to identify wild edibles, when you can quietly harvest protein from a nearby forest, you're not just surviving, you're thriving outside the system. Foraging and hunting give you diverse, nutrient-rich foods, less reliance on global imports, a serious boost in resilience. It's like having a hidden pantry that moves with the seasons and asks nothing more than your time, knowledge, and respect. Foraging, a skill anyone can learn. Let's talk about foraging first. You don't need to live in the woods or own 20 acres. Start with your own backyard or local park. Dandelion, plantain, wild mint, they're everywhere. A solid field guide is your best friend. It teaches you to identify what's edible, what's medicinal, and what'll send you to the ER. Don't skip this part. Start with safe, common plants like wild berries, blackberries, blueberries, wild greens, dandelion, chickweed, nuts, acorns, hickory, walnuts. The rule? When in doubt, leave it out. Foraging is not worth gambling with. Bring a foraging kit, pruning shears, gloves, a small digging tool, mesh bags for airflow. And remember, forage responsibly. Take only what you need, leave plenty behind, and never harvest endangered species. The knowledge that keeps you fed. Foraging isn't just gathering, it's knowing. Knowing your seasons, your soil, your wildlife. Knowing when the bulb garlic blooms, or when mushrooms like morels pop up after spring rain. It's a relationship with the land, and like any relationship, it takes time to build. And here's the beautiful part. This knowledge doesn't just feed your body, it feeds your mind, your confidence, and your connection to nature. You stop seeing weeds, you start seeing dinner. Hunting, harvesting protein with respect. Now on to hunting. Hunting's not just about filling a freezer, it's about balance between ecosystems, ethics, and nourishment. A good hunter tracks the signs, knows the seasons, and follows the laws. They harvest with respect. They use as much of the animal as possible, and they never take more than they need. Whether it's deer, turkey, or rabbit, wild game is organic, hormone-free, lean and protein-rich, but it comes with a responsibility. Know your weapon, know your target, make clean shots, avoid suffering. Follow local hunting regulations. They're there for a reason, to keep populations healthy and sustainable. And if you're new, find a mentor, take a class, learn before you leap. Challenges, controversies, and common sense. Look, let's not pretend this is all sunshine and backstraps. There are real challenges here. Legal limits on hunting and foraging zones, over-harvesting that can wreck ecosystems, ethical debates, especially around animal welfare. And let's be honest, not everyone has access to wildland or the mobility to hike out and hunt. That's why education matters. Community matters. Teaching others how to forage sustainably or hunt responsibly, that's how we preserve these skills for the long haul. The bigger picture, sustainability and self-reliance. Foraging and hunting aren't just survival strategies. They're part of a larger movement towards self-reliance and sustainability. They reduce your carbon footprint. They break dependence on industrial food systems. They reconnect you to the natural world in a way nothing else can. Whether you're living off-grid or in a city apartment, just learning how to ID wild greens or understanding where your meat comes from, it's a step toward freedom. It's not about perfection, it's about readiness. So here's your takeaway. Learn your land, know your seasons, respect what you harvest. Foraging and hunting might feel old school, but in today's world, they're the most modern skills you can have. Got a wild food story to share? A recipe passed down from your grandfather? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. And if this sparks something in you, subscribe for more grounded, no-fluff prepping content. Because at the end of the day, preparedness isn't panic, it's peace of mind.